Welcome back, Dragon Ball Z fans, to part 4 of What If King Vegeta Survived and Hit on Earth. Last time on the Dragon Ball Z What If, King Vegeta, Goku, and the Z Fighters awaited the arrival of Prince Vegeta and Nappa. They arrived, and Vegeta got his teeth thoroughly kicked in by the overly strong Kakarot. Now King Vegeta has King Vegeta has told... I'm out of the voice now. I did it as long as I could. Now King Vegeta prepares his son to take revenge on the man who destroyed their planet. Speaking of which, house cleaning a question that needs to be addressed right now. And it got brought up, and I'm like, wait, what? And I looked into it, I'm like, wait, what? So someone had commented that Frieza's full power is apparently from wherever this guidebook is or whatever, is actually 200 million. Not the 120 that Daisenshu says, or the Kaisenshu says. This is due to the fact that the Spirit Bomb weakened him significantly, so his full power was only 120, not the full 200. Now, I have tried my damnedest to find where you find this, and I can't. Apparently it's a guidebook of somewhere. I am calling up, but I'm going to say it right now. First off, we're not using this number in future what ifs. We're not. The 120 is what we stick with because I don't think the 200 million is real. Now, I gave some reasoning for why I think that, and the person was basically countered back with a couple of points. But there's actually now two big reasons that I'm really convinced it's a fake thing. One, this is less proof and more just when you think about the story. In context with the story, Frieza still not being at full power makes no sense. Because that means that Goku turning into a Super Saiyan is completely pointless. Because he would have gotten his ass clapped by... Because when you look at the numbers in the Daisenshu, Goku's 150, Frieza's 120, there's a 30 million difference. And they're fighting for a while at a relatively even keel. We know Goku's the stronger of two, and ultimately he's overwhelming Frieza. Because Frieza's energy is just draining at that point. If Frieza was 50 million stronger than even full power Goku, that just makes no sense. Because then it's like, then what was the whole point of Super Saiyan to begin with? Add on to the fact that the argument that Frieza wasn't at full power makes no sense because Goku was drained to ki. Like, Goku was tired out, yet his base form is... So, that makes no sense, but the important point, and this is the one that I think really actually sinks the argument, is that the 200 million number is reliant on the 120 number. Because they say, oh no, it's only 120 because he was tired, and that's not his actual official power level. Whereas no official sources stated that, and the argument they made is like the Daisenshu was created by America, whatnot, so forth. But the problem is that 200 million number is reliant on the 120, which then makes no sense because if it's reliant on the 120 and that 120 is still canon, just not the full strength, that makes no sense because Daisenshu fully states that's 100% of his power, and the 60 million is 50% of his power. So to confirm the 200 contradicts the 120 that it's comparing itself to. And it's still saying that he was at 120. So the entire statement is contradictory to each other there. The only arguments ever made is the fact that Frieza said he was only using 1% of his power. Which if you use basic numbers would mean that and that actually doesn't even freaking work. If Frieza's using 1%, Frieza was more or less bullshitting. He wasn't using a lot of his power, but he was using more than 1%. Because the 120 would be 1.2. Okay, fine. 200 million would be 2 million. I'm sorry. Goku and him were pretty much dead even. Goku maybe had slight edge, but nothing that mattered. We're basically dead even in power. That's what was going on when they first showed up. And that's why he was able to go toe-to-toe with Frieza for so long, up until Frieza powered up. And so, but then it doesn't, so the 2 million doesn't work. And so then if you say he's using 1% of his power, 3 million, well, that means his full power is actually 300 million, and that doesn't work.
So, honestly, I think this is just A, the fans inferring too much and trying to figure out stuff that doesn't need to be figured out, frankly. And B, a little bit of taking to heart too much what a character is saying. So that's what it is. Honestly, I think the 200 is a little bit of bull, personally, and it's not the number I will use for the future. I'll still stick with the 120. Now that we got that out of the way, we cut back to the events of Dragon Ball, where King Vegeta, after Prince Vegeta gets his ass kicked, King Vegeta is basically saying, now, son, you may not be as strong as Kakarot, but you will be in time. We have a method of training you, and you, Nappa, as well. And we have to prepare for Frieza. And so we will prepare for Frieza, and when we're ready, we will lure him to this planet, and we will take back our vengeance. Take vengeance for what he did to us. And so, very well, Father. What is exactly kind of training you have in mind? And so they go up and they go to look at Kami, who has been sensing and watching the whole thing. It's like, Goku, it's good to see you. King Vegeta. It's like, Kami, it's good to see you again. I know this is a bit much to ask, but I'd like to use the hyperbolic time chamber for my son. And yeah, by the way, some people kind of said he was like a royal guard or something like that. That would make sense, like an advisor of some kind, or just like an elite bodyguard or whatever. And my friend here, in order to prepare and rid us of Frieza once and for all. I was like, well, given the circumstance, I don't see why not. Although I've only just met them, and from what I saw down there, I can't say I fully trust them. True, but can you say you fully trust me as well? That's true. And Kami just kind of gives him a bit of a stink eye, saying, after the wish you made, I can't say I fully do. And King Vegeta actually laughs a little bit, saying, distrusting to the end. I respect that. But you needed to worry. I'll be keeping an eye on my son and Nappa while in there. So, and Popo even states, like, but you're aware you can only use the hyperbolic time chamber twice, which, side note, we know more about the hyperbolic time chamber than the pendulum room, which will be making an appearance very soon in this What If. In fact, the pendulum room we know very little about how it functions. The hyperbolic time chamber, we actually have a good bit of information. I just don't recall if they ever said why you could only go in twice in a lifetime. We know that got fixed later on when Dende rebuilt it. And maybe as time's gone on, they've kind of upgraded it as well. But maybe because of the immortality, he's able to bypass that. This is key, by the way. His immortality means that he can stay in the hyperbolic time chamber until the end of time if he wanted to. Now he's not going to, but Pope says, you shouldn't be able to go. There's only enough supplies for 2 people. That's why only 2 people are supposed to go. It only restocks for 2 people. True, but you're aware I no longer need provisions, Mr. Popo. Like, well, please, just keep an eye on them. In the meantime, I suggest, while the time chamber is occupied, I suggest you all get some training with the pendulum room. It's like, oh, cool, I haven't used that in a while. Now, again, I'm not exactly sure. In fact, I'm going to look up the pendulum room right now since we're talking about it. It's not something that comes up very much. Pendulum. Not pendulum period formula. I have no idea what that is. Pendulum room. Dragon Ball Z. Okay, what exactly is the pendulum room? Is the name for a huge pendulum swinging back and forth. Does seems to have some sort of time dilation or manipulation abilities. Okay, overview. It's a room that contains numerous clocks. A portal to the past will open on one of the falls when the user wishes to travel back in time. In Dragon Ball Z, the pendulum room is named for the huge pendulum swinging back and forth in it. It swings over a ring, which a person must stand in if he or she wishes to be transported by the pendulum. In the time travel, the pendulum room does not alter any past events, as the interactions the characters sent back have with the past never happen, as it functions more like an interactive vision of the past rather than a traditional time travel.
which generally is taboo among gods and other crime is a crime under galactic law. Dying in illusory post will send the user back to the pendulum unharmed physically. However, the user can still be affected mentally by the experience. Mentally and probably physically as well. The pendulum was useful for training against warriors and learning martial arts skills from past, such as master. Okay, so it is a time travel machine. It's kind of like doing VR, except you can actually feel shit and die and then come back and be like, what did you learn? So they all try that out for a little bit. A couple of the Z fighters basically just are like fighting low-level Saiyans after a while. Goku is waiting for them to get done because Goku has a different idea in mind. Goku said, "I'd like to go fight. I'm going to fight this and send me to the destruction of planet Vegeta."
So, wait, Goku, are you sure about this?
Yeah, I'm sure. This is something I don't think we've ever really. I've never considered this because of the way the pendulum moon works. If you wanted to learn about someone too, you theoretically could. They sent them back to a place where they fought Saiyans in the past, so. Why not fight Frieza in the past? I mean, they don't really establish what the limitation is. Hypothetically, you could fight Beerus or Boo. Hypothetically, mind you. So Goku goes back in the past, and he's watching, and he sees the destruction of planet Vegeta. Or it's about to happen. Frieza throws the ball, and he just... I was like, what's this now? It's like, Frieza! It's like, sorry, but I can't let you, I'm not going to let you to take this world. He just tosses the ball off because he'd be at least twice as strong as this version of Frieza right now. So he could probably just do this. It's like, oh, this Saiyan is something different. And then all of a sudden he's getting the power, but it's like, what? Impossible. Well, all right, let's see what you got. Let the bodies all off. You suddenly get like I remember Cooler's Revenge and Metal Cooler, and you get the freaking Disturb and all that playing in there. All right, look, say what you will about some of the older DBZ movies, they had boss soundtracks. Goku comes in and he starts fighting with past Frieza. Now, obviously, this has no bearing on the present, so that means when him and Frieza start fighting, Frieza ultimately transforms into his second form. They clash. And then ultimately Frieza keeps transforming. Goku goes to Ozaru eventually. Frieza goes to his final form and does eventually kill this version of Goku, who eventually goes back. Goku's like, whoa, that guy's he's strong indeed. We will watch it. I don't know if they can view those events either, like Kami or Popo. Let's say they can. It's like, so that's Frieza. I always wondered how strong he really was, but this is something. And he's gripping. This is something different. We'll need all the help we can get. And so Goku's spending all of his time with the pendulum, going back to constantly fight the new Frieza. Now, I don't know if there's a physical game because because of the way it works, and they describe it more as you're getting mental experience than physical experience. Because they're unharmed physically, however, they can still be affected mentally by experience. It's useful for training against warriors and learning their martial arts of the past. So let me see here. Usage. I mean, they don't really say if it can be used to get physically stronger. But I'm guessing you could if you got strong enough. Especially with Goku. For instance, even though could he get a Zenkai from the pendulum room? My belief would be no, because he is actually unharmed when he comes back. So it is more like virtual reality, but I would imagine Goku with training experience, all that, I imagine he would still be getting stronger while he's doing this. It's just unlike with the hyperbolic time chamber, which he can literally has a whole year in one day. He is going to tire himself out by the end of the day. But in theory, let's say yes, Goku can get stronger this way. Actually, legit Zenkai stronger. And so eventually, after the 2 days are up, and Goku and the gang have been training, they've probably been using the pendulum room. Again, sadly, their powers are not going to be... They're going to be able to take out Frieza Force soldiers. Reds will hopefully get strong enough to do a bit more. He can probably take down Ginyus. But eventually, Nappa and Vegeta get out of the hyperbolic time chamber. But King Vegeta stays in. He says, I'll stay here as long as I need to. It's like, are you sure? You're aware of what will happen if you're
only by your. Sorry, you're aware of what will happen if you train only by yourself. It's like, I was prepared for that the moment I gained my immortality. And it's like, and speaking of which, when do we gain ours? It's like, I'm afraid that's not happening anytime soon. You, you foolish Namekian. You really think you can hide it from me? My father told me you have Dragon Balls on this planet, and that's all Frieza needs. Well, I've already sent the message. This would be Vegeta being overconfident, thinking he's like, oh yeah, we've gotten strong enough. Which, should note, Nappa I feel is probably not as strong as like Goku is right now. He's probably as strong as like the suppressed Frieza. That's where Nappa probably is. Vegeta, though, again, you factor 2 years in. Vegeta is probably around Namek Goku level of strength, which ironically, thanks to the Senzu Bean train method that Goku was going with, Goku's also gotten there as well. Or at least, because I would say Vegeta might actually even be surpassing Goku at this point, maybe around 5 million, roughly speaking. Goku maybe has lucked out to get to his Namek Saga level of power, and Goku and him are kind of squaring off. It's like, look, you want take it up with your dad afterwards, but we're not doing this right now. You really think you get to tell me what to do, Kakarot? You forget I've spent all that time in the chamber. You have no idea. Just kind of flexes what my power's like. And Goku's like, well, maybe you should show me. It's payback. This is payback for earlier. And he disappears. Goku's like, he's barely able to dodge. Gut checks Vegeta. Sadly for Vegeta, Goku is the better fighter. Like that's like in straight hand-to-hand combat, Goku is a better fighter than Vegeta. Yes, in the base form in the Dragon Ball Superhero movie, Vegeta did win, which I think actually implies that he might have a little bit of better stamina than Goku at this point. And that's not, and Goku's got ridiculous stamina. But that actually kind of tracks based on everything we've seen Vegeta kind of take over the years, that he might have better stamina than Goku. That's a stamina issue. That's not a skill issue. Goku is still the better fighter between the two, because he's trained, again, the good comparison I heard was, or the best comparison I heard was, Vegeta's trained like a soldier. He's trained to fight, and he does know forms of fighting, but he's trained to fight. Goku is a martial artist. He's a duelist. He trained to fight in one-on-one, hand-to-hand, and with the best. That's what he did. So they're duking it out, but Goku's quickly like, he really has gotten stronger. And Vegeta's very much, you know, is lording over his strength over Goku until he eventually gets a desert. Now then, I'd kill you, but we'll need you for Frieza. Although I'm probably more than enough at this point. Still, you, Namekian, where are the Dragon Balls? I will have the immortality. The Vegeta dynasty will live forever. Now, where are they? And all of a sudden, because I think one of the few things Vegeta hasn't picked up yet is the sense energy. He suddenly just, that's enough, Vegeta. Father, what are you? I told you. I told you. You will not disrespect them while we're here. They offered refuge to us. They gave us a means to get stronger. We are in their debt, whether we like it or not. We may be many things, ruthless, we've been called many things, ruthless, barbaric, cruel, and all those may even be true, but we are not without our honor, Vegeta. And right now you spit on it. Vegeta's just I can't believe. And Vegeta now is actually like really bucking against his father right now. It's like, you're not the man I admired. You're not my father. And it's like, oh, that was fact. Then tell me. Then I'll give you the opportunity right now. Beat me in combat, Vegeta, and you can take your rightful place as king. And you can do whatever you wish. I'll even find the Dragon Balls for you, and you can have your wish. You really think you can beat me, Father? Don't forget, I was watching you train. Well, you might be immortal, but you can't. But your growth has been stalled somehow. You really think you can take me on? Like, I think the question is, do you really think you can take me on? It's like, fine, and they square off. It's like, whenever you're ready, son. And so, Vegeta comes in and just, it's like,
Remember, I put Vegeta around 5 million right now, so he's past Goku at this moment. But he's like, you, and then finally, boom, gut check, just boom. Then King Vegeta just reappears, boom, beats living gut. Luckily, you should be able to consider this another little training lesson, son. Do you know what? Yes, I learned a while back that my ability to grow, Saiyan's ability to get stronger near death was hindered by the wish for mortality. But do you know what I gained from that? Immortality. Do you know what the biggest flaw of the time chamber is, Vegeta? The fact that we are immortal, but immortal is only allowed to be able to step in there twice in a lifetime. However, with immortality, I've found a way to bypass that. I don't need to sleep, eat, drink. I can just trade. I could trade for all eternity in there. And to which Krill's, well, you might need to speed up that eternity. What do you mean? Vegeta kind of got summoned Frieza to be summoned Frieza. You did what? It's like we're strong enough. We're more than strong enough. And all of a sudden, you little, you ingrate. Yes, we have power, but we're still nowhere near capable of taking him on in his full capacity yet. And Kakarot's like, he's right. I've been using the pendulum to learn about him. He is way beyond any of us right now. And to be fair, Goku probably would get a little Zenkai from the beating Vegeta just put on him too. So it wouldn't even him out, but it put him pretty close to each other now. It's like, Kami, is there any way for you to be able to tell us how long it will take before he shows up? I don't know if Kami's really capable of sensing it, but let's say for argument's sake he could. It's tough to say, but if what we learned about him is true, from the little I can sense, and he's just kind of like focusing a week, at most a week. That means 7 years in the time chamber for me. If any of you humans want to use the time chamber, use it now or save your peace. But just stay out of my way. He's like, meanwhile, Goku's going back to the pendulum to try to, again, basically he's just trying to level up enough to beat the final boss, is what he's trying to do with the pendulum room. And so, but he's just like, and you do nothing. And so he basically has to daddy Vegeta really hard right now. And so a week passes. Vegeta he's been grumbling. Goku has been able to get to the point where he can, when Ozaru matched the 50% form, but that's about as far. Like, he's a little stronger than Vegeta again. And again, I'm treating the pendulum room kind of like a quick fix, especially if you're strong. But not quite there. And then Vegeta. Now, King Vegeta, I don't want to spoil because we're already at the 20-minute mark and I got to do tomorrow's video. So I think I'm going to basically save the actual fight for the next video. And so King Vegeta ultimately emerges a day early. So, how did your training go, father? It's like, it should be enough. That's all that needs to be said. It's like, Goku, Kakarot. I see you've gotten stronger. I see your power's grown. It's like, yep. It's like, I see you've even surpassed Vegeta once again. If my son wasn't being such a child, you could have a good rivalry. But regardless, that's neither here nor there. We need to focus on the task at hand. As they suddenly sense the energy coming from Frieza. And so, that is where we're going to leave part 4. Join me, tomorrow technically, but I'm going to be recording in just a second. For part 5 tomorrow, where the kings, the Lord and the King will finally have their day. Until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.